our next story, a lot of different wrestling shows in the last, week to 10 days have opined about what this list means, and it may not be done yet. And I don't want to go through the entire list though, guys, but it seems like there are some names that marks online and even like, the pundits have taken exception with as like, well, why is this girl released or that guy released? And two names that come to mind for me that I would argue that, listen, first person that everyone seems to be going crazy about is Dolph Ziggler. Now, Dolph Ziggler has been with the company, I believe, since early to mid 2004. I could be wrong on that date. Mm-hmm. I believe that's the time frame. And everything that Ryan Nemeth has been asked,
Nick Nemeth, his brother.
Nick Nemeth has been asked to do. He's done. Has he elevated talent? Yes. Has he been in main event type matches? Has he been in main event storylines? Yes, he's been a great worker. For whatever reason, the marks have sort of latched on to the conspiracy that, well, like a lot of times we hear, Vince didn't push him right, or Vince didn't elevate him, or Vince didn't put the title on him, and things of that nature. Again, we don't know what the backstage politics and the backstage inner workings are, but that's a name that a lot of the wrestling fans and pundits alike have taken exception with. But at the same token, it's almost 20 years. What more can Dolph Ziggler do? He's still in great shape, still a great worker, not old in life years, but he's old in wrestling years. I don't think a break right now would be the worst thing for Dolph Ziggler.
I don't think so. I think he's in a position where he's earned it. He's done a lot. He's wrestled a lot over the last years. I mean, look, he's a guy that I think had a lot of buzz, had a lot of potential to be a main eventer for one reason or another. It just never worked out. I think maybe there was people that within the company that didn't like the fact that he was a mark, that felt like he was a dude who could moonlight with the main event, but not really be a main eventer steadily. And, he kind of fizzled out, man. I mean, the injury, it's a shame we never really got to see how far him as champion could have gone, because he did get that concussion and they put the title on Del Rio and all that. But I don't know, man. I just think for one reason or another, he's just one of those guys that never really was ever able to break through, but he became a very dependable hand for the company as time went on.
Yeah, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think Dolph is one of those guys that as he said on the Chris Van Vliet show, he doesn't need the money. He's done a really good job of protecting himself, of saving up his stash. So I think he's in a spot right now that he can do stand-up comedy. He can continue to do improv. He can step away from the business right now. And, he'd be satisfied with the work that he's provided us. Now, would he show up as Nick Nemeth over in AEW to just have some bucket list type matches like, Ziggler versus Omega, Ziggler versus Hangman Page? Will he do that? I don't know. But I don't know if he'll be, if that's something that he's itching to do right now.
I don't hate it either. I think that's actually pretty cool. That would be interesting matchups to see.
No, I agree. Another big name that marks and wrestling pundits alike online have, raised some eyebrows about was Matt Riddle. Now let's be honest here. I don't know if you've seen the clip over. It's kind of got popular on Twitter the last 96 hours, but let's be fair. If someone's smiling right now, it's probably Dana White, who is in no position to be sanctimonious about anything, to be honest. But yeah. People like Dana White and others that raised some red flags about Matt Riddle a while ago are kind of getting that, well, I told you so vibe that a lot of people like to sort of, give off. But it's interesting because Matt Riddle came through developmental. He went through NXT, won the tag titles with I forgot what his name was.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne, that's right. And, become Butch. And listen, I think he came up to the main roster. The bro movement just was really lit a fire, and he sold merch. He was an innovative character. Obviously, you hadn't seen a guy wrestle barefoot really consistently in quite some time, since Rusev when he was in WWE. And it was, whether it's his backstage behavior away from the ring, his personal life, what's gone on with him, maybe issues about substance abuse. It just seems like Matt Riddle had a lot going for him. And we may not know the full story, but it just seems like maybe it was just time to cut the cord with him. And, that sometimes happens in companies.
Yeah.
Mach, you could take this one.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Riddle's one of those guys that he's always going to be thought of as like, what if? He's always going to be labeled as what if. It's unfortunate that he wasn't able to get his shit together. I'm hoping, and this is just my personal hope, that he has the Eddie Guerrero treatment. that maybe he takes this as a wake-up call. He leaves the company. He goes out there, does some indie booking dates, realizes that that's not really about him, and makes his way back clean, sober to the WWE, because to me, he's always kind of been one of those stars that I felt like was just kept on the bottom of the roster, and he's always had potential to be a top guy.
Yeah, I agree. David Gregory Karsh says Riddle was a mid-card bum. I disagree with that strongly.
We held the tag titles for quite some time with Randy Orton. I mean, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dude, he was a very popular wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Merch was flying off the shelves, let's be honest.
Bro, I remember seeing an Arcade Bro hat on Bergen Line. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how you know things are coming up, when you see it on Bergen Line.
Yep.
But look, man, he's just another wrestler that was very talented, that had massive potential, that got sidetracked by personal shit, man. You know, It's not anything supernatural to wrestling. We've seen it a million times, unfortunately. I hope this doesn't end in any type of tragedy. I mean, you know, he had a lot of issues. I mean, you know, whether it's his genitalia popping out, or, you know, it's his issues at the airport, or run-ins with cocaine, or marrying an adult film actress. You know, he's put himself in a lot of spots. You know, and he was wrapped. Well, obviously you can't fucking spell. So I think you were trying to imply that he was raped at JFK. But you might want to spell check that next time, David. Yeah, raped, not wrapped. He was wrapped. Like, yo, Matt Riddle chilling with a griddle. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that didn't fucking happen. Okay.
God, Jesus.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Pick the death metal, please.
But yeah, I feel for Matt. And I'm with Mach in saying that I hope he makes his way back. I hope there's an Eddie Guerrero situation, because I see a lot of potential there. But to the professor's point, Dana White's involved now, man, and Dana White don't fucking like him for anything. So I don't know how it turns out, but I just hope it doesn't turn out in tragedy.
I'm with you. Another name that I think was interesting, but not a surprise. He's had, I mean, you talk about going back to the OVW days. Shelton Benjamin seems like his run with WWE, I think, has come to a close. And you want to talk about a good 20-year career. A guy who, and again, I don't want to feed into the conspiracy theories that Marks like to do online about Vince and booking and presentation. It just seemed really interesting in 2004 when the Intercontinental title was placed on him, and he was feuding with Triple H for a little bit. And you just thought, man, this is a guy who, not the best in the mic skills, but a hell of a worker, great presentation. Again, getting eyes on the product, getting a black superstar out there front and center on Monday Night Raw, leading that brand back in 2003 and 2004, respectively. It just seemed like, you know, he never really reached that top pinnacle, even when he was the gold standard. And yes, he was IC champion again. Yes, he won the tag titles with Charlie Haas as part of Teen Angle, and then the world's greatest tag team. And then certainly, you know, he would kind of like jump back and forth, coming back in. He'd make Rumble appearances. He'd be great on, you know, during Money in the Bank ladder matches. When he was in the Hurt Business in 2019, I think that was a great run for him and that stable. Listen, I hope he's maintained his money very much like Dolph Ziggler. He saved it. He seems to still be in relatively good health. Wouldn't be the worst thing for Shelton Benjamin to, again, take a break from the ring and see what else is out there right now, again, after what I think has been a very good and very underrated 20-year career.
Agreed.
I agree. I think with Shelton, he contributed a lot to the business. He was put in Team Angle with Charlie Haas. In my opinion, unfortunately, it was not to be the Haas brothers, but it should have been the Haas brothers, because I think that would have been amazing with Kurt Angle. But, you know, he did a great job tagging with Charlie. They had a great run as Team Angle. And even after that, his solo run was really, really good, man. You know, still one of the most memorable super kicks ever.
Yep.
You know, him and Shawn Michaels, that super kick on Monday Night Raw.
That match, very underrated match, by the way.
Yeah.
Very underrated match.
I mean, you know, I think Shelton is a guy that if you know wrestling and you appreciate wrestling, you're going to appreciate him and you're going to appreciate his career and everything he contributed. And I wish him all the best. You know, he'd be another guy. If he popped up in AEW, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, personally, I don't think he goes to AEW. I kind of see him as a producer or possibly like a trainer in NXT. I think he's that valuable to the company. There has been word on this list that some of these people will be coming back, that they will get re-signed, probably on lesser deals. Probably they'll be put in different positions. but I also don't want to discount what he did with the Hurt Business because that was really good too.
Yes.
So personally, I just look at him as one of those guys who he's invaluable to the business itself. Like there's no way they'd let him go over to AEW. I don't think he really wants to be that person where he wants to go over there and he wants to take care of that daycare. I mean, there's no need for that.
That's right. Macho said it perfectly. One last name here, and the reason I bring her up is, she came up during a time when there were a lot of fit, good-looking blondes like Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose at the time, and Charlotte was up and coming. Dana Brooke, it's interesting, man. They gave her a lot of chances on television. Good-looking woman, fit, not too bad on the mic. I think she, did her job well. Just never really fit in any big angles. And, again, she's nice to look at. I mean, I want to kick her out of my bed, but it just seems in a division that's cluttered with a lot of fit women, it seems like Dana Brooke was the odd woman out, as they say.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that they tried to repackage her a few times. I think they tried to put her together in a bunch of different ways. I got to be honest. I know I'm in the minority here, but I love their stuff with Reggie. I thought that shit was great. I thought her stuff with R-Truth was super entertaining. I thought her being 24/7 champ was pretty interesting. I know a lot of people hate the 24/7 title. Who knows? Maybe it might come back as a hardcore title. We'll see. There's gonna be a lot of changes.
They're past that, right? I think they're past that.
Yeah, but
they're past that.
I don't know though, dude. I think there's a market there. There's money to be made, and if you can bring in somebody who's good at it, people are gonna want to watch, man. It's just another layer.
But there's no color anymore.
You don't need color to have a good hardcore match. How many fucking good hardcore matches have we seen these last few years that haven't had color in it? You know what I'm saying? You could do it any way you want. But hey, man, credit to her, man. I respect her. She wasn't always the most talented, but over time she got good. She figured out what she did very fucking well. She's a great athlete, man. And another one, if she went to Impact, I could see her in Impact. I could see her doing something there.
Yeah, good
especially with the women division they have there. Yeah, so all the best to her too.
Yeah.
Macho?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I look at Dana Brooke as one of those people that just got it a little too late. It took her too long to get to the spot in the ring and on the microphone to where she is now. And when you look at her and you're watching the matches that she's having in NXT, it's the best run of her career. It's unfortunately that it was cut short, but obviously, business is business. And just like you guys said, she was just the odd person out. I mean,
guys, some interesting news here. Let's just sort of go around the wrestling news wire, as they say. And
and I got a special scoop for you guys too, hot off the presses, involving The Rock, John Cena, and some guy that does that. Yeah?
Yes.
I don't know. That guy. No, not that guy. That guy's way more talented. Some other guy who kind of shortened the word.
You didn't say that.
All right. Well, let me talk to you.